Good morning. We're just going to give it a few minutes while everybody enters the room. Okay, I think we're ready. Good morning. Just as a reminder, please mute yourself unless you're appearing before or testifying before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the Licensing Board of the City of Boston. Today is Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law that allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing will be recorded and posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review the items, procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Licensing Board. I want to thank Maria Farrell for stepping in for our Executive Secretary today. And I'd like to introduce Commissioner Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you. As a reminder, please mute yourself unless you're appearing or testifying before the board. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will add. Okay. I will call each item in the order as appears in the agenda. Oh, can you please mute yourself? I will then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee. Then you'll make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chairwoman and commissioners. Then follow the questions. There'll be testimony beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address and affiliation, if any. Okay. First calling item is Bakey Inc., doing business as Bakey at 151 Tremont Street, Boston, Mass. 02111. Has applied for a common victual license to be exercised on the above ground floor, consisting of seating area, kitchen, office, storage, and restrooms. Manager or Ohana, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Attorney Marcy Costa, would you like to present?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, members of the board, Marcy Costa, McDermott, Quilty, and Miller, 28 State Street, on behalf of the applicant. We are here in front of the board today asking for a common victualler license to be operated at 151 Tremont Street. And his business partner are going to be operating a bakery that is really meant to be a experience that pairs first-rate coffee with baked goods served at their prime. So they're going to be a bakery that you can go into at any point in the day and have something fresh right there and available for you. Their goal is to really be baking for all of the hours of operation. Or and his partner are internationally known. They have partnered to operate multiple bakeries in Israel as well as in New York City. And they're very excited to be here in Boston and bring their concept here. There's a lot of support from the residents in the building at 151 Tremont Street, and everyone's really looking forward to their opening.
Thank you. Chairwoman, do you have any questions?
Thanks, Maria, and thank you, Attorney Costa. Mr. Ohana, so how many seats are going to be at this location?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us today. We have 33 seats or 34 seats in the space.
Okay, is this your first location in Boston?
Correct.
Is this your first location overall?
In Boston, just in Boston.
Just in Boston.
We operate bakeries in Israel. We have 7 bakeries in Israel. We had bakeries in New York called Brett's Bakery. We are not related to Brett's Bakery anymore, but those are the last 2 concepts that we had. Here to Boston, we bought a new concept called the Bakey.
Sounds very exciting. Thank you very much for explaining that. And you'll be operating 7 days a week?
Correct, 7 days a week.
Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
Questions?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with the elected officials or the representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. They received support from direct abutters who reside at 151 Tremont Street, as well as the Downtown Boston Residents Association. We do not foresee any issues with this as they have immense support from the abutters, but ask that the board hold the vote until they meet with the Midtown Park Plaza Neighborhood Association on September 8th. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Councilor Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify? Seeing that there are no one else, the board will take this under advisement.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item is Sodexo Operations LLC, doing business as Pete's Coffee at 625 Huntington Ave, Boston, Mass. Has applied for a common victual license to be exercised on the above 698 square feet on the first floor of Mass Art, Building K105, coffee and sandwich kiosk with a straight line counter, 2 points of sale, seating, and adjacent storage area, accessible from Longwood Ave, Palace Road, and Hunting Ave. Manager Brian Dagnall, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Brian Dagnall. I'm the manager on record. We have the Pete's on campus here at Mass Art, formerly run by Chartwell's. Sodexo Operations LLC are requesting the license to operate the same operation under a new entity. I have roughly 20 plus years of food service experience. I'm a U.S. citizen and a member of, Commonwealth citizen, resident.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dagnall. How many seats do you plan on having at this location?
Roughly 12. Currently, Mass Art is kind of on the fence of letting, outside residents into,
Okay.
into the building with the COVID restrictions. But there's only 12 seats currently.
Okay. Sorry, Maria, I jumped in there. I don't have any other questions for the applicant. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Molly Griffin. The Mayor's Office would just like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Next item, Lee Inc. has been withdrawn per applicant's request. Item number 4, Bostonian Hotel Limited Partnership at 220 to 60 North Ave, Boston, Mass. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Rob Rosenblatt to Alexander DiCarvajalo. I apologize if I didn't get that name well. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Sorry, I was just muting myself. It's Alex. It was close enough. It was DiCarvalho.
Thank you. Sorry. Alex, tell us a little bit about your proposal.
We, as part of the hotel, we operate a restaurant and bar at the hotel. The previous general manager has since left. I've been with Millennium Hotels for 6 years. I transferred from New York to Boston in July last year, and we're requesting that the license change to my name.
Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you. Mr. DiCarvalho, I'm just going to ask you the 4 questions the board takes into consideration for a change of manager. Are you a citizen of the Commonwealth? I mean, are you a citizen? Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I have 22 years of experience in the hospitality industry.
Okay. Thank you. And are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
I am.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Are there any,
Yes, yes. I
are there,
am.
Selma, the person with the name Selma, could you mute yourself?
thank you. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or the representatives? Seeing none, we'll take this matter under advisement. Item number 5, Flight Club Seaport LLC at 60 Seaport Boulevard, Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Sasha Niesenbaum to Paul J. Crowley Jr. Attorney Kristen L. Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the licensee. Logged on with us today is PJ Crowley, who's the proposed manager of record to replace the previous manager of record, Sasha Nissenbaum. By way of background, PJ has been in the industry for years, in particular in Boston, for working for various hospitality groups. He has experience in management roles for the past decade plus, but somehow has never been named actual manager of record. He's been with Flight Club, the licensee, since its opening in 2019 as an assistant general manager, and is intimately familiar with its operations, in particular as it relates to the service and sale of alcohol. He is a U.S. citizen and a Massachusetts resident, and other than the change of manager, no other changes are proposed to operations.
Thank you, Attorney Scanlon. Just to make sure we cover all of the questions, Mr. Crowley, and you're also familiar with the rules and regulations of the ABCC and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol. I saw him here, but.
I'm up here. Yeah,
Oh.
I am.
Okay, I think we covered it all. Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Curran?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Seeing none, we'll call the next item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6 is Timeout Market Boston LLC, doing business as Timeout Market at 401 Park Drive, Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverage license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Joshua Hubbard to Michael Minchello. Attorney Brent McDonald, would you like to present?
Good morning, Madam Chair and board members. Brent McDonald, Nutter, McLennan and Fish, 155 Seaport Boulevard in Boston, here representing Timeout Market. As indicated, we're seeking to change the manager of record. Our proposed manager of record is a citizen of the United States, a resident of Massachusetts. As indicated in the application, he does have extensive experience in the food and beverage industry. I would also note that he is ServSafe certified in alcohol service. He is here today if there's any other questions you would like to ask.
Thank you, Attorney. Mr. Minichello, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
I am.
Okay, thank you. And your attorney covered all of my other questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No other questions. Thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Seeing there's none, we'll move to the next item. Item
Thank
number
you.
7, thank you. Item number 7, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse LLC, doing business as Ruth's Chris Steakhouse at 45 School Street in Boston. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverage license has petitioned for a change of officer directors and LLC managers. Attorney Grace Yang represents. Attorney Yang.
Good morning. Thank you, Grace Yang. I am at the Gray Robinson firm, 401 East Jackson Street in Tampa, Florida, representing the applicant Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Boston LLC. This is an application and a request for approval from the board for a change of officers. We had one officer for the Ruth's Chris LLC entity retire, and we are bringing on some new officers for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Boston. It will remain as a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse restaurant operating at 45 School Street. No change in the local manager or agent. Appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Attorney Yang, and thank you for joining us today. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Seeing none, we will take this item under advisement. And thank you, Attorney Yang.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 8, F&H Inc., doing business as Mi Pueblito Restaurant at 333 Border Street in East Boston, is a holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt with liqueurs beverage license, has petitioned to change the office of directors and LLC managers. Attorney Sylvia Guzman to represent. Attorney Guzman. Attorney Guzman, are you here? Is there anyone else here to represent F&H Inc.? Okay, we'll give this a second calling. Moving on to item number 9, Cami 1975 Corporation, doing business as Melodious at 1045 Saratoga Street, East Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages license, has petitioned for a change in the classification of its license to wines, malt beverages, and liqueurs pursuant to the authority contained in Chapter 481 of the Acts of 1994. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Hi, morning, board members. My name is Carlos Cespedes. I'm the current manager, and I'm part of owner of Melodias Restaurant. I have been the manager for Melodias for 4 years. We are currently holding a malt and a wine license. We are requesting this change because we can increase or keep some of our clientele that they're requesting, like some mixed drinks that we can do with the liquors. I'm being trained and been a manager for more than 10 years on many other businesses. I've been part of the community. I live in East Boston for the last 17 years of my life. And I have all the training knowledge, and I'm a USA citizen.
Thank you, Mr. Cespedes. Could you describe, how long have you had your beer and wine license?
I mean, under my name is going to be 2 years, but the site has been like 7 years, I believe.
So the license has been at this location for 7 years, and you've been manager for 2? Is that what you're
3,
saying?
almost 3.
Okay. So the public need to add liqueurs, could you go into that? Like, what kinds of offerings would you be adding to your menu?
Pina colada, we have on a menu with no alcohol. We can use those liquors for that, mojitos and like a light margaritas, basically, because sometimes we're a small business, we're only 9 tables. So when we have 3 tables that come at the same time, the last table who make the order needs to wait at least for between 15 and 20 some minutes. So when we offer them like a beers on wine, they said if we can have like a more cocktails that I can can be more sweet on their side, and if sometimes they don't wait because they said beers are too heavy to have it before the dinner, and many people don't like wine and beer and wine before the food. We're a family-oriented restaurant. I wish you guys can come and see it. This is just a restaurant. We have a good behave.
Okay, appreciate that. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Lina Tramelli with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We would like to go on the record in support for this proposal. We held an abutter meeting on July 21st, where the applicant addressed the concerns of the abutters, and the attendees show strong support for this proposal. We also received 20 letters of support from abutters, and resident of East Boston and East Boston Main Street is also in support of this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify? Seeing none, we'll be calling the next item. Thank you. Moving on to item number 10, South Boston Market, Inc., doing business as K and 8th Market, located at 362 K Street, South Boston, Mass. Holder of a retail package store wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Arian Linton to Mr. Nahar. Secondly, has petitioned for change of officer director. And lastly, has petitioned for change of stock ownership interest. Attorney Nelson C. Chang representing. Attorney Chang.
For the record, Attorney Nelson Chang representing the petitioner with offices at 47 Jackson Street in Saugus, Massachusetts. This is a family-owned business that they actually purchased an existing business about 2 years ago. The current owners are Aaron Whitten and Tariq Milton, who are brothers. Ms. Nahir is Aaron Whitten's wife. Ms. Whitten, Ms. Nahir has actually served as a manager underneath Aaron Whitten for the past 2 years, and they now seek to put the entire business just in her name alone, feeling that she now has sufficient experience. The operation of business will continue exactly as it is, and Ms. Nahir is both a Massachusetts resident, a U.S. citizen, and since she has been working in the store for the past couple of years, she is fully aware and cognizant of all the alcohol regulations.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Chang. So other than the change of manager, will there be any other operational changes at this location? Hours, anything like that? Hours of operation?
No, there will be no changes at all. It'll remain exactly the same in operation.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions, Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran.
No questions, thank you.
Okay, are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or the representatives? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Next item is Korean Fusion Inc., doing business as Koi, located at 16 to 18 North Street in Boston. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change of officer directors, and lastly has petitioned for a change in stock interest. Attorney John Ayeda. Attorney Ayeda, would you like to present?
Thank you, Maria. Madam Chair, members of the board, John Ayeda, McDermott, Quilty Miller, 28 State Street in Boston, on behalf of the applicant. Also joining me is Katarina Chang. Katarina is the current manager of record, and she's been at this restaurant since its opening approximately 8 years ago. Her father, Danny Chang, is the owner. Danny is gifting 51% of the shares of stock to her daughter, Katarina, as part of her efforts and contributions to the business for the last 8 years. And we're also asking that Katarina be allowed as a director. She's been recently appointed as director of the corporation. There are no changes to the day-to-day operations, and Katarina will remain on as the manager of record. And again, as I stated, she is in attendance if you have any questions for her.
Thank you, Attorney Ayeda, and thank you for joining us, Ms. Chang. I don't have any other questions for the applicant or for the attorney. To you, commissioners?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or the representatives? Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much. The board will take this under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling next item. Item number 12, Franco LLC, doing business as Polino's Restaurante at 2A Prince Street in Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Isabella Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Isabella at the same location. Cristobal Faypaz manager, 1 a.m. closing hour. Attorney Carolyn M. Conway to present. Attorney Conway.
Good morning. Thank you, Maria, Madam Chair, members of the board. Today with me, I have Mr. Cristobal DePaz and Martin Aliage, who are the officers and the proposed stockholders of Isabella Restaurant, Inc. As the board may be aware, Polino's Restaurant has been on Prince Street for more than a decade. And as far as that goes, both Mr. DePaz and Mr. Aliage have been part of the operation of that premises. Currently, they are working with Mr. Polino at his restaurant on Hanover Street, Casarecci Restaurant, so that they have a lot of experience both in the front of the house and the back of the house. Mr. DePaz is the proposed manager of record. He is a citizen of the United States. He is a resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and also has been schooled on the rules and regulations of the city of Boston and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This is basically a turnkey operation. The floor plan is going to remain the same. The main difference, other than the change of name, which is, by the way, named after Mr. DePaz's daughter, is for that the menu will be tweaked to have more of a Tuscan flair, which is not something that's very common in the North End, which is more traditional Southern cuisine. So we're going in after this, we will be, as I said, just taking over the restaurant and putting in a great menu, which is, by the way, very reasonably priced. I believe that the board got a letter of no opposition from the NURA this morning. We appeared before them. We're scheduled to appear before the North End Waterfront Council on September 13th. We expect that we will be able to get their support as well. So what it is that we have somebody not only with experience in the restaurant industry, but we have people who are experienced in this particular location. So they're coming in with full knowledge of the operation and are excited to take it over for their own account.
Attorney Conway, just to clarify for the record, is Mr. DePaz the manager at this new restaurant, the same manager at Casarecci?
No, I believe Mr. Polino is manager at Casarecci.
Okay.
And you'll see from the application that Mr. Polino has just been wonderful assisting these gentlemen and taking over, and there's seller financing there. So he will continue to be involved in helping these gentlemen get their start in the North End.
Can you explain to me again for the record what the relationship is between Casarecci and what's going on here?
Well, Polino's restaurant and Casarecci are both owned by the same husband and wife team, Frank Polino. So Mr. Polino is selling the Prince Street restaurant. He's keeping Casarecci on Hanover Street. So he's basically selling to his long-term chef and basically Mr. Aliash, who runs the front of the house.
Okay, and I'm raising this issue because, as you know, this board has approved these extensions of premises for outdoor dining in the North End. And some of the operations at Casarecci have caused complaints before this board, so I take those things into consideration. We've had to work with them several times this summer, and I'm just drawing the line here to point this out to everyone who's listening, that those are things that we are concerned with.
And I will pass that along, most definitely.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who'd like to testify, beginning with elected officials or the representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague, John Romano. We ask that the board holds its vote until such time that the applicant meets with the community. The applicant has already been in touch with both the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council as well as the North End Waterfront Residents Association. Thank you.
As I said, we have the letter that was submitted to you from the Residents Association, and we meet with the Waterfront Council on the 13th.
September 13th?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Seeing none, thank you. The board will take this under advisement, and we'll move on to our next item.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 13, calling Big Bad Dog LLC, doing business as Dominic's, located at 54 Salem Street, Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Witchcraft DBA Witchcraft on Salem at the same location. Mary Bisson is manager, 1 a.m. closing hour. Attorney Marcy Costa is to present. Attorney Costa.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of the board. Nice to see you again, Marcy Costa, McDermott, Quilty, and Miller, 28 State Street, on behalf of the applicant. And joining me is Mary Beth Bisson, the proposed manager of record. We are in front of the board today seeking a transfer of the license from Big Bad Dog LLC to Witchcraft LLC at the same location and the same closing hour. The restaurant itself will not be changing. The description is staying the same. In fact, they're planning to just take over and make cosmetic changes to the space, as well as bring in a new concept, which will be focused on craft beer and sandwiches, hence the name. And they are hoping to open before Halloween in order to really gain some traction on the marketing with the Witchcraft on Salem theme going into Halloween. The terms of the license are really not changing. Like I said, the description of premises is staying the same. The number of seats is staying the same. The hours of operation, the closing hour remaining 1 a.m. They are, the owners and operators are, this is their first foray into the restaurant industry. It's something they've been looking to do for a number of years. They have a lot of success starting many businesses, and Mary Beth, the proposed manager of record, has been a manager in the corporate setting for over 2 decades. She's now going to be entering this role as the manager of record of their new restaurant business. She is a US citizen, a Massachusetts resident. She is familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol. And they are looking forward to getting started and getting into the Boston restaurant scene.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Costa. And hello to Ms. Bisson. Do you have any experience in the food and beverage industry as of to date?
As of to date, no, not professionally in the business. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague, John Romano. We ask that the board holds its vote until such time that the applicant meets with the community. The applicant reached out to the North End Waterfront Residents Association and does not need to appear before them, but we do need them to meet with the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council on September 13th. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you, Attorney
Thank
Costa.
you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling next item number 14, Mitsos LLC, doing business as Crossy, located at 48 Gloucester Street, Boston, Mass. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverage license has petitioned to transfer the license and location from the above to CGK on Newbury LLC, doing business as Crazy Good Kitchen, located at 266 to 268 Newbury Street, Boston, Mass. 02116. The premises consist of a commercial restaurant located in 2 subterranean floors of 266 to 268 Newbury Street in Boston, containing approximately 2,319 square feet with 2 rooms, a bar, 2 restrooms, basement storage, and 2 outdoor patios containing approximately 700 square feet on the first floor. The patios are on private property and will contain 10 tables. All will have a closing hour of 10 p.m. Selma DeSouza is the manager of record. Attorney Luis Casas, would you like to present?
Yes, thank you, Maria, members of the board. Louis Casas for CGK on Newbury LLC, and we're applying for a transfer of the license from Mitsos LLC to CJK LLC on Newbury Street, doing business as Crazy Good Kitchen. We're asking for a change of location from 48 Gloucester Street to 266 Newbury Street, change of category to add cordials to the wine and malt license that's presently at 48 Gloucester Street, and to name the manager Selma D'Souza. Selma is a citizen of the United States, a resident of the Commonwealth, and is familiar with the laws, rules, and regulations of the Commonwealth and the ABCC and the Boston Licensing Board as it pertains to the service of alcoholic beverages. You may recall we were before you several months ago. At that time, we reached out to the Neighborhood Association, to the Mayor's Office, and to the abutters, and everyone at that time was in favor of the license, although it wasn't approved at that time. We think we've solved the problem that the board may have had before by moving this license from 48 Gloucester Street, which is right around the corner from 266 Dewberry Street. And as you may be aware, with the next item on the agenda, these two applications are somewhat dependent upon each other, as Mitsos is going to upgrade its license from a beer and wine license to an all alcohol license and transfer the beer and wine license to Crazy Good Kitchen. This is basically American cuisine. Everything on the menu is moderately priced. There's nothing on the menu that's no item exceeds $18. They've opened for a few months now, done very well, but people obviously want to have a beer or wine or a cordial with their dinner, and there is a public need there. If you may recall, this location was an all alcohol license for over 30 years. It was Tapeo Inc., which was a tapas restaurant with a full alcohol license. And that business was there for a very long time and served the public for many, many years. I think this location would be very good for the neighborhood. It's very unique and it's different than what's around in the area. This is their second location. Their first is in Malden, and that's been there for over 10 years and it's done very well. And they're looking to expand into Boston and hopefully get a beer and wine license to go with the food. If any questions, please let me know. I have Selma and Jose D'Souza with me.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce.
Just so I can see that they have joined us, could the D'Souza's speak up just so that their square lights up? I don't see them.
I see some.
Oh, I see them. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I just wanted to make sure you were here. Your attorney did cover the manager of record questions. So as to that, I don't have any concerns. The description, how many seats are there inside?
I think there are
49.
49?
Yes.
Okay, 49 seats inside, and then there'll be 10 tables outside?
Yes.
Do you know how many seats that is?
44, I believe.
Okay. Did you say 144, attorney?
No, 44.
44, okay.
There's 49 inside, 49 inside, 44 in the patio, and 8 at the bar.
Okay.
The bar's inside. I think it's 102 total.
Okay, thanks for covering all that. I don't have any questions at this moment. Commissioner Saxon or Curran?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Molly Griffin. They have received an opposition from the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay, and the Mayor's Office would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Kennedy Avery from Councillor Kenzie Bach's office. The councillor would like to express her non-opposition for the applicant on the condition that they commit to closing their windows no later than 10:30 p.m. As communicated with the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay in their agreement. Thank you.
That's acceptable.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Seeing, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm Conrad Armstrong. I couldn't see the raise the hand thing.
Oh, sorry, Connor.
Live at 439 Marlborough Street, representing Neighborhood Association of Back Bay. I wasn't sure, are you considering item 14 and 15 together? But regardless, my point is that yes, NAB has no opposition to the 1 a.m. liquor license for Crossy, as long as they agree to close their windows no later than 10:30 p.m.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling next item on the list is item number 15, Lincoln Bar and Grill Incorporated. Lincoln Bar and Grill, doing business as Lincoln Bar and Grill Incorporated, located at 8 Lincoln Street, Brighton, Mass. 02135. holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Mitsos LLC, doing business as Crossy and Hectate, located at 48 Gloucester Street, Boston, Mass. 02115. The premises consist of 1,521 square feet, total seating capacity of 82, in one room on first floor with dining room and bar, restrooms in rear, one room with bar and lounge in basement with restroom and a separate entrance. 1 a.m. closing hour. Dimitri Salakis as manager. Representing is Patricia Langs Farnsworth. Attorney Farnsworth, are you?
I'm here. Yes. Good
Okay.
morning, Maria. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioner, Chair, and Commissioners. With me is Dimitri Salakis. You did get that very good, Maria. And so Dimitri operates Crossy. It is it's an operating restaurant, has many accolades. It's contemporary Greek. Operating now under a beer, wine, and cordial permit, no issues whatsoever. And I had the opportunity to purchase the Lincoln Bar and Grill all alcohol license. Lincoln Bar is closed. And so we would seek to transfer ownership and location, bring that to Gloucester Street. And then as Attorney Cassis described, we would simultaneously with the approval, transfer the existing license to Crazy Good Kitchen. We are seeking a 1 a.m. license. The other license we had was a midnight license. We did meet with Neighborhood Association of Back Bay, and we are fine with closing the patio windows at 10:30 p.m. And I think, Dimitri's here. He can tell a little bit more just about the need for the all alcohol and, just the 1 a.m. as well.
Yes, no problem. Hi, everyone. So we've been open for almost 2 years. 6 months of that were closed, unfortunately, due to COVID. But being just a wine bar, we are limited with people who do ask for Greek spirits, who have been to Greece and are looking for more of a Greek experience. And then recently, a lot of influx of events coming in that we lose to other establishments that have a full liquor license for bar options. We're not looking, to overserve or bring all the people in. It's just we're a small restaurant on the first floor, so it's only 12 bar seats that we have, and we have no problem closing at 10:30. And 1 a.m. is just our kitchen is open till 11. So the time they get their food, any late stragglers who do come in, it would just be another option instead of rushing them to leave by midnight.
Okay, Mr. Salakis, you are already an approved manager of record by this board?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and you're going to be adding Greek spirits to your menu. That's what you're
A Greek-inspired cocktail menu.
Greek-inspired cocktail menu. Okay.
Yeah, we have spirits that fall into the cordial right now, but we are limited in that sense as well.
Okay.
It just goes with the food, the meds that we serve.
I understand. Okay. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Molly Griffin. We held an abutters meeting on August 30th, 2021, and they received a non-opposition from the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay with the agreement that their windows be closed no later than 10:30 p.m. as mentioned already by Attorney Farnsworth. The Mayor's Office would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this item under advisement. Thank you.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your time.
Okay, moving on to the next item is item number 16, Mattapan Gas Station, Inc. has been rescheduled. And at this time, I'd like to do a second calling.
Do we have 17 and 18, Maria?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Huntington Theater and Ethiopian Cafe.
Oh, there you are. Sorry about that. Thank you, Chairwoman. Okay, item number 17, then. Huntington Theater Company, doing business as Huntington Theater, located at 264 Huntington Ave, Boston, Mass., has applied for a general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above in the entirety of the building located at 264 Huntington Avenue, known as the Huntington Theater, 42,403 square feet on 3 floors, basement for storage, dressing rooms, wardrobe rooms, restrooms on the west wing, office space, equipment and electrical rooms, as well as plenum and orchestra pit in the theater wing, first floor for office space, break rooms, costume workroom, fitting rooms, kitchen and restrooms, and a craft room on the west wing, lobby, concession areas and storage, restrooms, and the main theater with performance area in the theater wing, second floor for rehearsal space, storage, office space, green room, and restaurants, west wing, second floor lobby with concession area and storage, restrooms and additional theater seating in the theater wing, the third floor of office space, rehearsal rooms, electrical and production rooms, office and meeting rooms, and additional theater seating, also the theater wing, all as shown on floor plans on file with the licensing board for the city of Boston. Manager, Catherine Herzig, closing time 12 a.m. Attorney William G. Ferrillo to present. Attorney Ferrillo.
Thank you, Maria. Ryan Gazda, standing in for Attorney Ferrillo this morning. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ryan Gazda from McDermott, Quilty & Miller on behalf of Huntington Theater Company. With me this morning, I believe Catherine Herzig is with us, who is the proposed manager of record for the theater. And as referenced by Maria, we're applying for a new general on-premise license for the Huntington Theater, which is located at 264 Huntington Avenue. As I'm sure many of you are aware, this has been in existence and in operation for close to 3 decades, since the 80s. And the theater has historically had an all alcohol license at the premise. It was formerly operated in partnership with Boston University, and the school held the liquor license itself. But the theater was transferred directly to the nonprofit Huntington Theater Company in 2018. And when that occurred, the school transferred the license elsewhere, effectively leaving the theater without a license to operate. Subsequent since that time, the theater has undergone substantial renovations, and they've been closed a good portion of the pandemic due to COVID. But at this time, they're hoping to reopen and replace the old license, if you will, with a new one as an amenity to their guests when they come for shows. The theater does currently operate the Calderwood Pavilion in the South End, and this would be a similar setup to how they're licensed at that location. As I referenced, Catherine, who is with us, she will be the manager of record, and she's been the theater manager for this location since 2019. She has experience in the food and beverage industry, is a Massachusetts resident and a US citizen, and is familiar with the rules and regs regarding the sale and service of alcohol. Briefly, with respect to public need, as I had stated, there's historically been a license at this location for many years, but when it was transferred out, it effectively left a vacuum at this space. So they're looking to replace the type of licensure that used to be there and to be able to provide an amenity to their guests that they really expect when they come to see shows that will be offered there. And it's really something that's necessary for the theater to become economically viable as a nonprofit and to continue to provide performing arts shows to the public in a manner that they would expect. And I do also believe that there are other licenses in this direct vicinity that have been transferred out of the neighborhood within the past few years, including, I think, Uno's was directly adjacent to this space. There will be a 12 a.m. closing hour, and I don't believe there are any changes with respect to occupancy or capacity or seating layout from what it historically had been set up under the former setup. But with that, we're happy to answer any questions you all might have, and Catherine is with us should you have any other questions for her.
Thank you very much. What was the previous closing hour for the license at this location?
To my understanding, I believe it was 12 a.m. Catherine, I don't know if you have any insight on that.
I believe it was 12 a.m., but I was not operating under this job title at the time when that license was at this building.
Okay, thank you. We can look that up as well. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals, beginning with elected officials or their representatives, who'd like to testify?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Molly Griffin. The Mayor's Office would like to go on record to support, but ask that the applicant continues communication with its neighbors in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling next item number 18, Ethiopian Cafe, Inc., located at 377 Center Street, Jamaica Plain, has applied for a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above. On one floor building with full basement, one entrance and back exit, the seating capacity license for 19 chairs, total square feet 408. Manager Farhat Bikel Zaliki. I'm sorry if I didn't do that well. Closing time 11 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
My name is Frahiwat. I'm the owner and the manager on this place. I'm a citizen of the United States and a resident of Massachusetts.
Okay, are you, so you're Miss Zaliki?
Yes.
Okay. So is there currently a license at this location of some sort?
Yes.
What kind of license do you have at this location?
I have 7 years.
Is it just beer? Is it just beer and wine, or is it bring your own?
Bring your. I have bring your own bottle license.
Yes.
Bottle license. Yes.
And how has that been going at this location?
It's good, but still they need to have and beer and wine for us. Most of people they don't want to bring their own bottle. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so are you currently the manager of record?
Yes.
Location. Okay, that's what I thought. So tell me, if you were to receive a 7-day all alcohol license from this board, could you describe for us how that will perhaps complement your restaurant offerings, or why you should grant this type of license to you at this location?
Can I speak on her behalf, please?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
My name is Chuks Okoli, and I'm the financial CPA that has been helping her with that. This is really an ethnic restaurant, and people from East Africa, Ethiopia, they really like to have their meal with some alcohol. So I think it will tremendously be a big help to her if this is granted. And this is our second time around. In 2018, we applied as well. It was said that we should come back later. And during that time as well, we were able to meet all the neighborhood association, and they grant us the no opposition as such. And now currently they scheduled another hearing on the 7th of this month.
Okay.
It definitely will help with the restaurant revenue area, which as the and I've been with them as their financial person throughout the inception of the business and up to now.
Okay. Thank you very much for explaining that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals, beginning with elected officials or their representatives, who would like to testify?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Lisa High with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Tiffany. We ask that the board holds its vote until they meet with the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council Public Service Committee on September 7th. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. This is Michael Giordano from Councilor O'Malley's office. We would also ask that the board hold this vote until the applicant is able to meet with the JPNC Public Service Committee on September 7th.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any other individuals who'd like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement.
Michael Reiskin.
Sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my name is Michael Reiskin. I live at 425 South Huntington Avenue in Jamaica Plain. I'm a member of the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council and currently chair of its Public Service Committee. Ms. Zalecki has held a common victular and later a beer and wine license at the Ethiopian Cafe since 2017, but there has been no abutters meeting or neighborhood meetings on the issue of the full alcohol license. We have scheduled her for September 7th, and we ask that you defer the decision until after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Are there any others? Okay, seeing that there's none, the board will at this point take a second call for item number 8, which is F&H Incorporated, doing business as Me Pueblito Restaurant, located at 333 Border Street in East Boston. Holder of a common victular, 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to change the officer, directors, and LLC managers. Attorney Sylvia Guzman is here to present, and I apologize, Attorney Guzman, there was a typo in her hearing notice. So thank you for joining.
Thank you. Sylvia Guzman for Mi Pueblito. Joining us are Ferdi Argueta and Alexander Argueta.
Hi, Alexander.
So this is an establishment that's been in East Boston for many years with a license. It was owned by corporation and managed by Mr. Ferdi Argueta and his brother Hugo Argueta. Unfortunately, Hugo Argueta has passed away recently and within the last year. And his son, Alexander, who grew up in the business and has been working in the restaurant since the family has owned it, is now looking to join the organization.
Okay.
And take his father's stead.
So would there be any changes to the day-to-day operations at this location? Okay, that seems.
So as it is, Ferdi and Alexander have been the ones who have been working there primarily. Hugo was not, didn't have as many shifts. And for the last, I would say maybe 4 years, Alexander has been the main person along with Ferdi.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Curran, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals, beginning with elected officials, or their representatives, who wish to testify? Seeing none, all right, the board will take this under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you again for the second call. That was complete misunderstanding.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, those are all the items before the board today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.